I'm Allie Clifton, joined by our Lakers reporter Mike Trudell and longtime NBA writer Kevin Ding.
Hey, Ding.
Good to see you guys.
It was not loud enough today. Can we do that again, please?
It's a little muted.
A little muted.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Asking you shall receive.
You don't have a special sound effect when you show up on the show, I see.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it would be for Trudell. It would have to be something about truth and consequence.
Something with
Can you come up with something?
Chocolate. Didn't Meta say Valentine's Day was coming up? It was something with chocolate.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what he said, Allie.
So
I was just sort of standing there like, yep.
Trudell's chocolates or something. Yeah.
Whatever he said.
We need to get on that.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I overheard Trudell saying that they would have plenty to talk about if I wanted to take a segment off. So buckle up, just in case they take over the show, because they have a lot to dissect, if you will. But we're going to dive first. What?
So you don't want to take a segment off?
Whatever you need.
Okay.
I'm just here to do whatever you guys want. Lakers schedule. That's where we start. I know you're going to be excited about that.
Oh, wow.
For the 2024-25 season. It was released last week. Here's how the season gets started. A look at the first 10 games, 3 straight home games to start things off, beginning on October 22nd versus the T-Wolves. Matchup with the Suns and then the Kings. And then they head out for 5 right away.
Yeah.
On October 28th, rounds out on November 6th versus the Grizzlies. And so we are going to digest this a little bit. And Trudell, we're going to start with you. Some of your takeaways, 2 of them. Start with your first one.
Real quick thing. What's Halloween like in Canada? I haven't been in Toronto before.
Because of your scheduling.
He's like, where are we going with this?
Do you know anything about that?
I mean, that you're probably going to miss out, I would say.
All right. Well, back to the schedule. Takeaways. So to me, the way that I think about this whole season, or at least a lot of it, the first thing is LeBron, year 22, totally unprecedented, right? It was just Vince Carter, and he played like 16 minutes per game, scored 5 points. So the fact that there are 2 fewer back-to-backs than last year, to me, is a big difference. And you'll see that not just early in the year, but it's pretty evenly spread out. 5 of the back-to-backs are home and home, which require no travel, obviously. So that, to me, is at least somewhat of a benefit and a difference for the Lakers from last season. And then there's this other thing where they kind of keep track of the rest, and if you're more tired than your opponent or not. And last year, the Lakers had a -5 score on that one. This year, they're +1. So for that same reason, it just makes a difference to me. If you can buy just an extra day where LeBron has a chance to kind of get through the calendar year, that's of significance. So that's the first thing that stood out.
Ding, I actually like, despite all of this breakdown here from Trudell, you've got some optimism. I always feel like you are optimistic, though.
I'm here for you, Alex.
Yes, and so when it comes to the first 5-game road trip of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that jumped out to me. If I'm JJ Redick, and I am an accomplished youth sports coach just like him.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a similarity.
That's true. Coaching your daughters.
This. Looking at that first 5 game, you got 3 games at home. And you sort of get to settle in and develop your rotation, get the role players rolling. They play better at home. And then you get a real test, that first 5-game trip, bringing them out. As we all know, that's where teams bond. That's where you grow as a group. This team obviously has been together before, but now with the new coaching staff, you sort of figure out how everybody feels. And if you're out there on the road for that long stretch, you figure that stuff out. And then also you look at the opponents. It's not too difficult. It's manageable, right? There's some expectation of winning there. And so it sort of sets up to me as a chance for JJ to get off whatever happens in those 3 games. You could end up with a really nice, strong run on a 5-game road trip, which is hard to do in the NBA. And so it tees up for me that JJ Redick could be looking pretty good after that 5-game road trip to start the season.
3 of those teams on that 5-game road trip did not make the postseason last year. Obviously, 2 did. When you're looking at the schedule, the depth in the West stands out.
Well, and the Lakers did go 0-5 to start last season on the road. So in terms of being hopeful, they're going to have to turn that around. And it does help to have some weaker opponents. So nice call out there, Ding. To me, looking at the schedule overall, Allie, it looks difficult because the NBA is difficult. And the West specifically, there are, to me, 13 teams that are good and trying to win this year. Now, we'll see Portland and Utah. Those are the 2 I would have outside of that. They could end up deciding otherwise if they start the year well and some of their young talent emerges more quickly than expected. But even if not, you've got every other team really pushing to get at very least into that play-in mix. And so when you're just going through, October, November, December, there isn't going to be a stretch where you see, boom, 7-0 in that little week and a half stint. And I think that's just a reality, not just for the Lakers, for every team in the West. barring a couple of the younger teams up top, maybe in OKC, maybe in Minnesota, it's going to be a bloodbath out
Scary.
there this year.
Yeah, indeed. You know what's not scary? That we're talking about Christmas in August.
That's the other thing. He went long. We all go very, very small view. And Christmas Day between the Warriors and the Lakers, usually the Christmas game is whatever is going to sell, right? And obviously the same thing in this case. But in the context of everything that just happened with the Olympics, what you just said, the Warriors fall in that category of a team that's still trying to hold on and compete. And so having LeBron and Steph on Christmas, one more day for not only the hardcore fans, but the casual fans, which is honestly what Christmas is often about, is the casual fan just hanging around, watching the TV instead of talking to their families. It's a big event, and have LeBron and Steph one more time. You got to savor these moments and not take them for granted.
We're going to continue that conversation and how it applies to the Lakers stars, because fresh off their Olympic run to gold, LeBron and AD will look to deliver for the Lakers next season. Now, here's how the superstar duo performed last year. Of course, the big thing, Anthony Davis playing 76 games, a career high. LeBron in season 21 at 71 games. You see their averages. We know exactly what they did. But fresh off of that season, and then you back it up with arguably looking like the best offensive player in LeBron for the Olympics, and Anthony Davis, the best defensive player. Kevin Ding, how important is it that the Lakers take advantage of these two and where they still are right now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we knew this day was going to come, you know, from the moment that LeBron came to LA, was that how are you going to navigate the end of his career? And yet it's not, it hasn't happened yet. It's not the end, but we're still talking about it sort of in the same way that we did a few years ago. He's still performing at such a high level. There's still so much expectation that he's going to be great every single night that it's a hard thing to wrap your head around, to say like, well, let's not play him. Let's not use him. And that's a good thing fundamentally, I'd say, first of all, for everybody in Lakerland to be able to say that, instead of it being the opposite, where you're like, well, is he helping? Is he hurting? How much is he killing us on defense every night? Like those little things, he's not what he once was, but there's so much still there. And now how much with the new coach, do you turn it over to AD to try to do even more and try to force that, take LeBron off the ball, take whatever you need to do to make LeBron do less?
Well, Allie, before I was doing walk-offs with LeBron, you were in Cleveland, and those questions about minutes and age and stuff were coming up then already, because very few players had ever been as productive at that stage of their career as LeBron was. And we're still here. So I guess for me, I just am kind of done questioning to him specifically about the minutes. It's just like we do it every year, and then LeBron knows better than we do about what he's going to do, what minutes he's going to play, whether he's going to be more of a passer than a shooter like he was for Team USA. These are all things that he has thought about. So I almost like kicked that back to you to see if I recall that correctly. Wasn't this something that was coming up in Cleveland?
I mean, one of the biggest narratives that I talked about when I first came out here was just how much he hated that conversation.
Yeah.
But I was just going to ask you, isn't it hard? Because I think we still can't believe that he performs at this level, at this stage of his career, that you're like questioning yourself whether or not it's a realistic question, because more times than not, it is. He's just different. So you always want to ask.
It is difficult. It is difficult. And sometimes too, when he will acknowledge in a certain way, even if they won in a walk-off, he might say, well, I could have done this better. And it's like, well, sure, if you weren't in year 22, you could have played defense like you were in year 4, like the guy that just was defending you. So you have to bake in some allowance for that, and that's where Anthony Davis helps, by the way, by being able to cover some of that. And then on a different night in the in-season tournament, or last year now the NBA Cup, like he is bringing it the full time, the whole game, like he is in the playoffs. So you just have to kind of be constantly aware of what the situation is and go a little bit based off what he says. And it's not an easy thing to do.
A Sideline Reporter's Mind 101, delivered to you by yours truly and Mike Trudell. Having said that, moving on. Okay, so we talked about the first 10 games. You talked about the 5-game road trip early in the season. You talked about the depth of the West. How much are you looking, expecting, anticipating the continuity carryover to benefit them?
Yeah, they have almost no new players. So it's
you would think.
That's something you really never see in today's NBA. Rob Pelinka sort of gave us a preview of this, right, last year, where he said, we're going to really commit to having this as something that is part of our identity. And here we are, more so than anybody could have expected. So will it make a difference that they have a new coach, that they have a new system? To me, yes and no. Of course, they're going to have new terminology. They're going to have whatever they have to learn. But there's nothing like playing with guys that you know how to play with. And so absolutely, there's going to be some continuity. There's going to be some feel. There's going to be some benefit to these guys playing together, especially early in the season when almost every other team in the league is figuring some stuff out. And so it's a chance to make hay, especially when you have a new coach, and you're learning a new system. You're still able to win those games.
Yeah, I think that's an important point, and the continuity is definitely there. Although, even if you just look in the West, most of the teams kept a decent amount of continuity. Like, free agency has changed. So the player movement is more about trades and or draft picks if some team has more than a given other. So for the Lakers this year, they bring in the 2 rookies, but I don't know that we expect them to be in the rotation on day one. Maybe Dalton Knecht, gets in there if he has a great preseason and shoots the ball well. But where I look at it right there, there's Vanderbilt, and then thinking about Gabe Vincent, if you just put them in for Dinwiddie and Prince, that's essentially 2 rotation pieces that are changing, because Prince and Dinwiddie are the ones that are out. Vincent and Vanderbilt missed most of last year with their injuries. And to me, that's also where the Lakers can start to get back into more of a defensive identity, because that's where they are stronger on that end. And even if you think about relative to Dinwiddie and Prince. So you're a little bigger, you're a little stronger, a little bit more point of attack defense. And I think that's going to help LeBron and AD to get back to kind of how you started the segment there, Allie. Like, having more guys able to do those, I don't call them little things, because defense is, of course, a main thing. That, to me, can go a long way in a November back-to-back or in a January game at Detroit on the second night, like that kind of thing.
The little things that no one wants to do more times than not. We're going to talk.
Hello, Nation. The partnership between Steph Curry and LeBron James is a dream come true for many basketball fans. Although these 2 NBA giants have never played together on a team in the league, they have had the opportunity to play alongside each other in international competitions, such as the 2024 Olympics, where they led Team USA to victory. Steph Curry, known as the Chef, revolutionized the game with his 3-point shot. He is widely considered the best shooter in NBA history. Curry, with his dynamic style of play and playmaking ability, transformed the Golden State Warriors into a league powerhouse, winning 4 NBA titles. LeBron James, nicknamed King James, is one of the most complete and dominant players the game of basketball has ever seen. With a unique combination of strength, skill, and game intelligence, LeBron has won 4 NBA titles and is the all-time leading scorer in the league. His ability to lead and elevate the performance of his teammates is unmatched. When Curry and LeBron play together, their skills complement each other in spectacular fashion. Curry, with his ability to space the floor and create shooting opportunities, opens up space for LeBron to attack the basket or dish out assists. LeBron, in turn, draws the opposing defense, creating opportunities for Curry to shine with his long-range shooting. At the 2024 Olympics, Curry and LeBron showed the world just how devastating their partnership can be. They led Team USA to the gold medal, demonstrating impressive chemistry on the court. In one of the most memorable moments, LeBron received an alley-oop from Curry, bringing the crowd to their feet and showcasing the synergy between the two. While the idea of Curry and LeBron playing together in the NBA may seem like a distant dream, there is always speculation about possible trades or free agency moves that could make it a reality. Both players have contracts that expire in 2026, which opens up the possibility of a future partnership in the league. The partnership between Steph Curry and LeBron James is a spectacle for basketball fans. Their complementary skills and on-court chemistry make them a formidable duo. Although they have yet to play together in the NBA, their performances in international competitions make it clear that if they do, it will be one of the most exciting moments in basketball history. It is great to see renowned and sometimes critical journalists fall in love with Stephen Curry, the renowned point guard for the Golden State Warriors, who took the basketball world by storm with his spectacular performances at the Paris 2024 Olympics. His performance not only secured crucial victories for the United States team, but also made the biggest sports journalists fall in love with his unparalleled talent. During the Olympics, Curry had moments of brilliance that left everyone speechless. One of his most memorable games was against Serbia, where he scored 36 points, including 8 three-pointers. This performance was crucial in the United States' comeback from a 17-point deficit at the halfway point. Kevin Durant, his teammate, highlighted the importance of this game, stating that everyone would remember that night for the rest of their lives. Another highlight was the final against France. Curry scored 24 points, all on three-pointers, and led the United States to a 98-87 victory. His performance in the fourth quarter, where he scored 12 points, was essential in securing the gold medal. The web went wild for his performance, with many fans and journalists praising his ability to decide important games. Sports journalists, known for their critical and detailed analysis, could not help but praise Curry. Many highlighted how he managed to stand out on such a big stage as the Olympics, especially since it was his first participation in the Games. Curry's performance was described as divine by Kevin Durant and one of the best performances I've ever seen by Anthony Davis. In addition to the praise from his teammates, Curry also received recognition from renowned journalists. They highlighted how he managed to exceed expectations, especially after a lackluster group stage. His ability to bounce back and shine in decisive moments has been widely praised, with many journalists saying that Curry put the Olympics in his pocket with his performances. Curry's journey at the 2024 Paris Olympics is a testament to his dedication and skill. He not only helped Team USA win the gold medal, but he also cemented his legacy as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. His long-range scoring ability, vision, and on-court leadership were instrumental in the team's success. Sports writers, who are often skeptical and critical, could not help but be drawn to Curry's talent. His performances at the Olympics were a reminder of why he is considered one of the best basketball players today. With his brilliant performances, Curry not only won medals, but also the respect and admiration of fans and critics around the world. In short, Stephen Curry proved once again why he is one of the greatest names in basketball. His performances at the 2024 Paris Olympics were nothing short of spectacular, and top sports writers could not help but be drawn to his talent. Curry has shown the world that even on a stage as big as the Olympics, he is capable of shining and leading his team to victory. Before we wrap up, be sure to subscribe to the channel. After all, we are producing videos almost every day. Thanks for watching. We will see you tomorrow on NBA News on TV. Stay tuned for more updates on the NBA, and remember to support by leaving your opinion in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications to know when I will send new news. Thanks for following NBA News on TV. Cheers and see you next time.